Today I've got some delicious apples here and we are going to make fall baked apple blossoms. Welcome back to Catherine's Plates, where it's always simply delicious. I'm going to be using 3 Honeycrisp apples. You can use any variety of apple, but I would certainly stick with the ones that are red because it's going to give it a pretty decorative look at the end. What we're going to do, you need an apple core, and I'm just going to take out the cores of the apples. There we go. So you want to cut your apple in half. And you want to cut these in slices. And you want them very thin. Now we always have Honeycrisp apples in the house. And I've been stealing these apples that my husband brings into the house to make y'all desserts. And the last one I made was an apple crumble. That was really good, huh?
It was good.
Because it's fall. Once we get all of our apples cored and sliced up, what we're going to do is take the apple slices, I'm going to put them into a skillet. All right, I'm going to finish 2 more apples. So you want to make sure that you have that apple peel right here. Now, you might know these as apple roses, and they're very easy to make, and they look amazing, and they're going to be perfect for your holiday table or just right out of the oven. Now, if you don't have an apple core, you can just take your knife and then you can cut down the sides. Probably as close to the apple stem as you can get. And then, you can have that as a snack. And then you can slice your apples from that. Over a medium heat, we're going to place our apples that are in the skillet. And what we want to do is soften the apples up very little. Now, as you can see, you cannot roll this up, okay? And we want to be able to roll these apples up. So we want to get them pliable, but you don't want them wimpy either, like limpy little apple strips. You don't want that. What we're going to do is move these around in the skillet for just a few minutes until they soften up. You don't need to add anything to it. You just want to make sure that that heat gets to the apples. So an optional step would be to place your apples into a microwave safe bowl and heat them up that way. And I would about every 10 seconds check them, turn them, and then I wouldn't do it any longer than like 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds tops. Been about 4 minutes, and as you can see, my apples are nice and soft. They're not limpy like, so that's good. We're going to turn off the burner. We're going to place our apples into a bowl. This will help stop the cooking process and cool them down just a little bit while we're working on our puff pastry. On a clean work surface, I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of flour. I'm working with puff pastry. There's 2 sheets in here, so we're going to start with 1. If you have these in the freezer, you want to make sure you follow the instructions on the back of the package on how to thaw these out. All right, there's 2 sheets. We're going to work with 1. I'm going to spread out the flour just a little bit. This will help it from sticking onto the surface. I'm going to roll it out. Take off that paper. Take a little bit of that flour. Put it on the dough. And then we're going to roll this out. It's got seams on it, and so we want to roll that flat and then make a rectangular shape. Okay, so I'm just going to use a pizza cutter, and I'm just going to cut off the rough edges here. What we're going to need are 6 strips, about 3 inches apiece. That's good. All right, I'm going to move 5 of the strips off to the side. We're going to start with this strip here. I have a small bowl, and I've got about 3 tablespoons of some apricot preserves. And it just comes in a jar like this, any kind of brand that you want. I heated it up in the microwave for about 20 seconds. We're going to take a pastry brush and brush the strip of dough from one edge to the other edge. It's going to give it some nice flavor too. We're going to take our apples, and what you want to do for each apple, where the red skin is, you want to place it on the outside of the dough, so it's about halfway on the strip and then halfway off the strip. And then you're going to take each apple slice and you're just going to overlap it until you get all the way down to the other end. What we're going to do now is take that outside edge and we're going to put it over the apples. It'll just cover them halfway. I have an egg white that I just beat up, and I'm going to use a pastry brush and just brush the outside edge of my dough here. We're ready to roll. You're going to start on one end down here, and then you're just going to start rolling. Now don't be too tight with it, because this is pastry and it's going to cook in the oven and expand. So just kind of loosely roll it up, kind of keep everything tucked in. Just keep going. And then you can bring in the back piece and just kind of pinch it onto the dough there to hold it. In a small bowl, I have 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. I'm going to add just a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to mix this together. And then we're just going to sprinkle a little bit on top of the rose blossom. All right, we're going to place this into a muffin tin that's been sprayed with some non-stick cooking spray. And then just tuck it in. Place these in the oven that's been preheating at 375 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes till these are nice and golden brown and the dough is cooked through. It made 9 with 3 apples, so if you want to do the whole 12, and that's how many it will make with the 2 sheets of dough, then I would use the 4 apples. Okay, I pulled these out of the oven. We cooled them down for just a little bit, but I had popped these out of the tin right as we took them out of the oven. Look how cute these things are. I've got some powdered sugar and I'm just going to sprinkle some on these. Okay, we're ready for fall with these apple blossoms. Okay, how do you eat this? Mmm, mmm. Scrumptious. Very easy to put together, you guys. Who's making these? Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think of my apple blossoms. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you will always know when shows like this one here are posted. I will see you on my next episode.